English class. Today we're doing a tire rotation on a Ford Focus. These are some of the tools you're going to need to do a tire rotation. It always helps to have an impact gun and a socket that fits your lug nuts. The impact gun must have a battery, and you need a twerk wrench. You need to be able to twerk down all the lug nuts after taking them off and putting them back on. Here is the front tire. These are the lug nuts that you will be removing with your socket that you have. My lug nuts are 21 millimeters in diameter. Hence the socket fits on there nice and tight. Some cars have different sizes, but 21 is pretty common. With the socket on there, and we will remove our first lug nut. It doesn't matter what one you remove first, but when you tighten them, you want to make sure you do a star pattern. Like a glove. You always want to make sure that the previous time you took on and off your tire, you want to torque them down to the right spec so they are easy to come off and not difficult. Now that I have all of the lug nuts off, I can now remove the tire. All right, now I will remove the tire with two hands on the sides, firmly gripping the tire, and pull. Now the tire has been removed. All right, so now that the tire has been removed, I can slowly walk it back to the back of the car. So now I have the front tire removed and placed right next to the back, and now I am about to remove the rear tire. It's the same pattern as the front, also 21, so this should be nice and easy. Removing the rear tire. Just as easy as the front because we properly twerked down on the wheel last time. All right, so now I will remove the tire like I did on the front. This one was a little stuck on there, so you kind of have to grip it a little bit and almost give it a small wiggle. But most of the time, without rust and corrosion, your tire should be nice and easy to remove. I can slowly walk it up to the front of the car. All right, so now I will put the tire on after walking it up front. You just want to make sure that all the lug nuts are lined up properly and your tire is centered on them. Now, just grab one of your lug nuts, or a couple if you can fit more than one nut in your hand, and just hand tighten one on so that now you can let go and your tire will not fall off. All right, so now that we hand tighten all the lug nuts first, you can take your impact and just make sure they get nice and snug up on the car. Snug. 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 So now that we use the impact wrench to snug up all the lug nuts onto the tire, you can come and take your impact. All right, so now that we have our twerk wrench, you can figure out your proper twerk specs for the tires by Googling your car and then look up real twerking spec. So now that we have the wrench here, you can set it to the proper one. For my car, it is going to be 100. So you can pull this down. Just make sure you find the 0 right there. You see the 0 and the 100 marker right there. So now that our car is at 100 foot-pounds of torque, which is a normal amount for any car, we can now take the same socket that we used on the impact gun, the 21 millimeter socket, and apply it onto our twerk wrench. Now, when we lower the car, after it's been lifted and added both tires on, we can twerk both tires. Car's lowered, and now we're about to start twerking. So just want to go slow. The car may rock at this point. That's normal. That's fine. Once you hear one click from the torque wrench, you know it is properly torqued and you can move on to the next lug nut. Another click, another good nut. Good nut. That one's good. Now we can move on to the back tire. Alright, so now we are here at the rear tire, and now we can torque it down just like how we did on the front. Putting the socket on the lug nut, and just spinning it down slowly until we hear one click. One click. 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 One click. Click. Oh. Click. One click. And that's the last click. Now you have properly twerked down all tires on your car. So now that you have properly rotated one side of your car, now you can walk over to the other side with the same tools and follow those same easy 6 steps on the other side, and that is how you properly rotate your car. Alright guys, that is how you properly do a tire rotation on any car. I would like to thank you guys for watching as I slowly walk away into the sunset.